Welcome again. In this program, we'll implement the Sudoku game. It consists of a 9 by 9 grid in which each cell of the grid can contain any of the numbers from 1 to 9 inclusive. The Sudoku grid, I've shown it here, and you can see, like, for example, this 3. In this whole row, there is only a single 3. In this whole column also there is a single 3, and in this box also there is a single 3, and that's why it is a valid Sudoku, because for each and every number in these cells this actually applies. And now look at this invalid Sudoku, this 1. There is more than a single 1 in one box, so this is not valid. Here they are the same numbers in the same row, and here they are the same number in the same column. So what we have to do is to write the various methods associated with the Sudoku class. So it is going to have a private instance variable called grid, which is going to be a 2D array of ints, and the constructor which we have to implement, and the boolean addif array method. It is going to have an array list and an integer as its arguments. The check row, the check call method. Actually, check row has been implemented and check call is what we have to do, and check box also, and get user answer. This is also previously implemented. Notice that all these 3 dots mean they are already implemented, and these double slash means that is we are going to implement. So first we are going to implement the addif method. It will take an array list of integers as input and return true only if num is not in that array. Num is that second argument we are going to give it to the method, and if this num is not present in that array list, it is going to add this num to this array. Otherwise it is going to return false. And notice that it is an array list, so whatever we do inside a method is not localized. It is going to reflect it, the change is going to be reflected onwards also. So we can do this, and we are going to implement the check call method also. And I would leave it to you as a puzzle that how add if valid method comes to be very useful in the check call method, and that is why we are implementing it first. It will take an int as input and then test that particular column in the grid matrix. So if I give it 1, it is going to check the column number 1. So a column is valid if each of the cells have numbers from 1 to 9 inclusive and none of the numbers is repeated. Assume that the value of the parameter is going to be between 0 to 8 inclusive. You don't have to implement a check for that. And in the next part we are going to write the checkbox method, and it takes 2 integers as input. Well, it can be a bit complicated. For example, if we have to make our program to check this box, we are actually going to give it that checkbox method the arguments of which are actually the row and column in the array of this, the topmost leftmost box in this 0 1 2 3 0 1 2 3. So if we want the program to check this box, we are going to do like checkbox 33, checkbox 36, checkbox 30, checkbox 00, checkbox 03, checkbox 06, checkbox 60, checkbox 63, checkbox 66, and that's how it is implemented. You can see here. And if we give it some invalid argument that are not 0, 3 and 6 and something other, it is going to return a sentinel. A sentinel is any number which signals. It is not a necessary output of the method. It is just a signal that something went wrong. And by checking box, we mean that the box should have only a single occurrence of each of the digits, and the digits are not repeated. So after this, we are finally going to implement the constructor of the class. It initializes the grid with the answer user enters, and in that case we can use this method get user answers, and then it must check if the grid is valid. If not, the constructor should keep asking the user for another grid until a valid grid is obtained. Hence, when the constructor completes its execution, the grid should be valid. You must use other methods in the class and not re-implement the functionality. It is a very common thing to be stated again and again in the APCS questions, so you should be aware of this. And in the next video we are going to implement this class.